You are listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast exploring scripture with Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb and Dr. Fredrick J. Long. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Proof Text. I'm Michael Halcomb. I'm here with Fred Long, and this is a Grammar Point episode. And we're continuing to think about verbs. And on the table today is a question: what is mood? So, Fred, what, in terms of dealing with verbs, is mood? It's also called mode as well, right? So what is mood or mode?
In Greek, it's a enklesis, right? Enklesis.
Increases. Yeah.
Enklesis.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So mood has to do with how a writer describes the action of the verb in terms of its certainty or likelihood of actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 5 moods or so, 3 or 4, and then a couple other ones which are often considered as moods. So let me give you some examples. You are running. We're working with the word run. You are running. That's a statement of fact, a simple statement. That's called indicative mood. If I say run, I want you to run. That would be what's called the imperative mood. It's used for commands and requests. If I said a question like, you really should run, or should we run or not? This is a type of deliberation. There's a potentiality of running. That would be called the subjunctive mood. Subjunctive mood is a mood of potentiality. And then you could say something like, oh, to run. And that would be an optative mood, which would be used there in terms of like a wish. So those are the 4 main moods. And then you have, and we'll go in more detail about these, then you have 2 other types of quasi-moods. We're often taught them as moods, but they're really kind of parts of speech. You have infinitives, which are verbal nouns, like to run, to hide, to preach. Those are examples of English infinitives, and these are used in all kinds of different constructions. And then you have what are called participles, which are defined as verbal adjectives. And example of the verb to run as a participle would be running, hiding, preaching, jumping, and these can be used in different kinds of constructions as well. So yeah, these are the 6 major moods, and we're going to go into more details into each one of these. We've treated the indicative mood, I think, already, and the tenses. And when we go to these other moods, they only occur, I should say, in present and aorist tenses. And occasionally you might have a future, like a future participle, only occurs 10 times. So that's something that we'll keep in mind, is that when you go outside the indicative mood, which is typically learned in beginning Greek, you only really have 2 tenses, maybe 3 or 4. You also do have a perfect tense participle. So you have aorist tense, present tense, lesser perfect tense participles and infinitives, and just a little handful of future tenses. So that's it for now for moods.
Well, let me ask you a question, actually.
Okay.
Why the term mood? I mean, that seems like when we're dealing with reality versus hypotheticality, why mood? Do you have any idea of like why that's the word that we use to describe this? Why not use something like, I don't know, a level of reality? I don't know. Why mood?
Yeah, it is a grammatical term. It is a second definition. The first definition of mood would obviously take you to like an atmosphere or pervading tone of something, but perhaps that kind of tone or atmosphere, maybe that led to the origin of the second definition, which is a category to express fact, command, question, wish, conditionality, which are kind of ways. Yeah. So I guess they say it was a variant of mode.
Yeah.
So it's a variant of mode, late English, influenced by mood. So then we'd have to go to mode. So I guess mode is a manner or way that something occurs or is expressed. So mode actually makes more sense.
If we think about like enklesis, the Greek word, remove that preposition and we get that root klesis, right? It has to do with like a bending or a lying down, or a turning. I'm just, I wonder if like bent toward reality or something like that is just a better way to think of mood. Um, the verbs bent toward reality or bent toward hypotheticality. Because even like an imperative, right, can be hypothetical in a sense. Like you can command somebody to do something, but there's no guarantee they're going to do it. But anyways, I just was curious about that. Like mood is one of those things that I think is easy for, especially early Greek students, to be thrown off by, because we associate mood with emotion. It has nothing to do with that. But verbal mood has to do with a bent toward reality. Would you agree with that or no? That kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So the Greek word, I mean, it means inclination. Inclisis is one of the primary
yeah,
meanings. It's used in medicine for displacement, but then it also can be used of a modulation of a speaker's voice. So you're already kind of moving towards how you're kind of bending the inclination of
right.
the communication. Yeah. So mood or mode. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's end there. Thanks, Fred. And for those of you listening, follow us, subscribe, like, share. We hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.